Bookstackers. Today we're going to be doing the spoiler-free review of This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For a non-fiction book, which I read like none of, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting.
This is the first non-fiction book I've read in like years. And one that isn't just like a school book that I have to read for math class or science or anything.
Die sometime else, please.
This book is the first non-fiction book I've read that isn't just like a school textbook that I need to read for science class or something like that. And I found it really engaging. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. And so it's basically the secret diaries of a junior doctor, and it goes through his life when he's training and he's working in the hospital and as he moves up the posts and the reason he eventually decides to quit. It's funny, it's sad, and it looks at a life that otherwise you don't really think about, and it really opened our eyes to going, oh wow, like the doctors do a lot of work.
Yeah, because neither of us have anybody who know anybody who's in this industry, so it's not something that we think about. Whenever I see a doctor, I try and say thank you because they're trying to help me, but like I only go to see like a GP or something every so often.
And so this kind of like reminds you, especially like when you go to hospital and you're waiting for 4 hours and you're like, oh, like I've been here so long, it makes me go, they're actually probably really understaffed.
I'm gonna try and be so much more patient now because I feel like so bad.
This book has like reminded me that they go through so much stuff and they're doing like several life-saving things a day, and you're like, oh. And also that they don't get a lot of rest between, that they do long hours, long shifts.
They do a ridiculous amount of hours.
Wow.
The thing with this the only part I couldn't engage with is because it's about an English doctor. It's all related to the English things, and I don't know how much of that is transferable to like an Australian doctor. Yeah. So it's really interesting, and I feel terrible for what like the British doctors were going through, because in this he said he was being paid like the equivalent of like a slightly proficient milkman or something, and I was like, that sounds ridiculous because you're a doctor. Yeah,
he was getting paid more than a McDonald's worker, but less than a McDonald's manager.
I think he said a number like £6.60 or something, and here that'd be like roughly $12-13, and that's so little.
So it kind of really made you go, oh, like take a step back and realise that these people are often doing a lot of work on low sleep, low money. Basically, the purpose of this book was to write to the governor, because I think there's
the Secretary of State of Health or something. Writing
to the Secretary of State to basically defend doctors, because they'd been putting all this propaganda out saying that doctors were just in it for the money and that it didn't matter and that they should be working more hours for less and yada yada. And he's just like, do you know what we do and what we put up with? And there's several bits in this where he talks about how they had to basically not record the hours that they were actually working.
Yeah.
And they had to waive their rights to have the certain amount of hours because they just, like, it wasn't possible.
Like, the whole book is pretty confronting. The way it's written, he's taken his journal entries from when he was a doctor, and he's just gone through and, like, changed names and dates and stuff because of, like, privacy reasons, and, like, understandable, fair enough. The diary entries sort of jump back and forth between, like, really harrowing and confronting with what he's dealing with, and then the next one's just kind of like sarcastic and sort of like, so this happened today, and there was like a funny thing like with a thing stuck up a vagina, and I was like, that's funny, but like 2 seconds before I was ready to start crying. Like it's whole
a roller coaster.
Through the whole thing you're like, oh, funny, huh?
I think it's great though that it does that, because it really emphasizes what the emotional day-to-day thing is for a doctor. Like, where we're just reading this and having an emotional roller coaster, he is actively living it. I mean, not anymore. He obviously isn't a doctor, but at the time he was. And it makes you go, like, there are people who are still living this today. And so it kind of made us really think about that and go, oh, that's an issue. Especially because I think when you don't have a personal connection to it, often you can just be like, oh, there's something going on there, whatever. But it really makes me go, yeah, doctors should be paid more. Junior doctors should be paid more.
Junior doctors specifically, not consultants.
They say that consultants get like a lot more pay, but yeah,
for like a lot less
junior
work.
Doctors that are working so hard, you're like, pay them, please.
Because some of the things in it are pretty confronting.
Young adults, I would recommend this too.
Also,
young adult plus.
Also, the purpose behind it, because it's got politics and stuff that he's like trying to bring attention to. You do have to be a little older, I think. Not like old or anything.
Yeah. But I reckon definitely everyone over the age of 18 should give this a read.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it just really opens your eyes to what people working in this industry have to put up with and deal with, and the kind of abuse that they get, not only from like patients, but also sometimes from friends.
The way it affects their relationships and
Yeah,
stuff.
the amount of mental health that issues that doctors have, and just going, wow, like...
Yeah, because there's been
lot.
more studies like vaguely recently about it, how doctors have some of like the worst mental health because they don't get the help. There's like a stigma against them talking about it and speaking up about it at work because they're supposed to be able to deal with their job. Like they're supposed to be able to handle all the things that happen. But like, if you're a human being, it's not easy. So what would you rate this, please?
I'd probably give this I'd probably give it 5 stars, because I was
thinking that, but I'm like, do I want to like give my 5 stars away so easily? But also, I didn't want to give it anything less.
It's really well written. It's funny enough that it's super engaging.
It draws attention to an important topic.
Yeah, I think it has a really important meaning behind it, and yeah, I just really enjoyed reading it and would definitely recommend this to more people. So yeah, 5 stars.
It's 5 stars.
It's a 5-star book.
Whoa!
So now we're going to pick out the next book that we're going to be reading. Your turn.
Thank you. This one. Oh, hey, nice. The Six of Crows duology. Or
Nice.
are we going to read just the first book?
We'll probably read the first book and then we'll read the other book when we've got time. Cool, awesome. So we're doing Six
Six of Crows, and it's actually a book that I already own, so we don't need to buy it. So it's
Yes. So our discussion, which is filled with spoilers, is also up on our channel. And if you've got any comments or discussions that you want to have about this book, feel free to put them over there. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.